Hello and welcome to the 12th episode of Your Mom's Podcast, the only podcast that's worth walking out on a date with one of Degrassi's coolest girls. I'm Caroline.
And I'm Avis.
And today we are talking about Degrassi, Season 3, Episode 16, Take On Me. Roses are red. When parents don't pay attention, kids wind up in Saturday detention. So we are, I know normally we do a little episode summary, but today we have a letter we'd like to read in honor of this Breakfast Clubby episode. They lay it on so thick.
I love it though. Oh, I love it so much.
Dear Mr. Radich, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday for whatever it is we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms and the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a baby incel.
And a kid whose parents don't love him.
An alt girl desperate for someone who understands her.
An accessory for Paige Michaelchuk.
And a kid from the wrong side of the tracks. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club, eh?
I love this episode. For no
so
more than the fact that it's literally a Breakfast Club homage.
It is exactly that. They do not try to hide it at all. They're just like, we're just gonna lay this on real thick. It's fine.
Especially from the top, having Ellie walk into the school, because if you've seen the Breakfast Club, they have different, I think it's just the Bender character walk into the school, and then I think there's one, and everybody else pulls up in their car, but he's the one that walks. Yes, with their parents. So it's they're trying. They're okay.
What kind of bummed me out, and not that these would have been good pairings,
yeah,
but for as heavy as they lay it on that it's the Breakfast Club, that they then have the jock and the cheerleader and the bad boy and the weird girl get together instead of staying true to form.
They would have had, yes, so it would have been Hazel and Sean. And then it would have been, Jimmy and Ellie, even though Jimmy and Ellie. Hazel and Sean is so weird to think about, though.
So weird.
But I think that's the thing that I love the most about this episode, because as much as it is an homage to the Breakfast Club, I think that they're saying off the top and at the bottom too, we are not the Breakfast Club. We don't have those dynamics because these characters are bound by their social groups, and they will never interact outside of these social groups.
Right.
Whereas because I personally think this is all one plot. I don't think that there's an A plot or a B plot.
No,
I think,
there's not.
Right. So to jump to the very end of the episode, when they are back in school on Monday, all of these characters, you have Jimmy and Hazel arm in arm with, saying, how you doing to Toby, and then greeting Sean as well. Whereas that's a big plot point in the Breakfast Club, where they say what happens Monday,
right?
We
You're not
ignore
gonna
each
invite
other.
Brian to the parties. You're not gonna.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely
although I think,
they,
I think part of that though, the implication by the end of the Breakfast Club is that they've transcended social cliques.
It is, and I think that
and we don't get to see Monday morning.
We do not get to see Monday morning. I always took that that little end with Bender and just the earring and all, and Claire, and just play, like, I thought of that as like their final adieu, like they'll never talk again.
I don't know. I'm just saying,
But then we don't have to interpret too much Breakfast Club lore. But I always took it as like, okay, she's parting with you in some way because she is bound, like, to be super popular, and she'll never get anybody to accept
That's
him.
fair.
Like, my mom did, talk to me about social dynamics in the 80s and how she was able to be friends with multiple people. But I think that that's just where we live. Different, like, she was also 5 years older than these characters before she entered high school, or sorry, 5 years younger before she entered high school, because she was not in high school till 88. So these characters are older than her. The social norms of, like, staying within your, like, High School Musical, stick to the status quo. No. It's different. Like,
guys, I like to bake.
What? Get out.
And someday, I hope to make the perfect creme brulee.
like, man, you're stinking up the place. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a thing that they wanted to, like, say, like, we don't have cliques here, Degrassi. We're able to these are just people, and we all maneuver, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I get it, and I get why they were so stark against what the Breakfast Club not even was trying to say, but what it could happen. Like, they could go on, like, Monday could happen and the status quo could be intact, or these characters could decide, we had a meaningful experience and we are going to acknowledge that these people might not be within our same friend group, but they are still a part of that experience.
Right.
It's definitely up in the air for me. I was always like, come Monday, who knows? Come Monday, this shit is dicey. But I love at the end how Jimmy and Hazel are together. I feel like that's my biggest takeaway from this. And I think originally I thought it was Ellie and Sean. But I think growing up, I realized I just love Hazel and Jimmy so much more. And I want better for them.
I like to think that, like, Hazel and Jimmy were pretty great for the most part. We just didn't get to see a lot of it.
We just did. And they're playful, light, cute. One thing I like, if we want to have a focus of this episode, it is basically Ellie and Sean. Ellie is playing the character of the basket case. She calls herself a couple of things, but just the weirdo girl, and she's keeping her bag close to her. There's a moment where, she's like, so
fucking annoying on this episode, honestly. When she's like Harriet spying.
Yeah. It's bad. This is not a good Ellie episode. I think it's an Ellie focused episode, but it's not good. One
of these days, you're going to come to terms with the fact that there are no good Ellie episodes.
There are good, like, it's coming.
Name one.
Name one. I don't have to right now.
Because you can't. You don't have to right now because you can't. Because Ellie is the fucking worst. I'm trying to show her more grace. Ellie's great.
I was going to say, right, like, you are trying to show her more grace, and I'm trying to trash her. But, like, I'm pretty sure that there's more. I really hope that there is. I remember that there's more.
You freaked out yet?
Oh my god. Oh. Here's my thought with that. Okay, the scene where Ellie shares her sandwich with Sean. My thought is that Sean is happy to finally have a girl who eats a regular sandwich.
Right.
He's happy. He's like, this is just turkey and lettuce.
Isn't Ellie vegetarian too, though?
That would track, but I don't think it's been said. That looks like chunky ass, like, Marco turkey or tuna.
It might be egg salad. I think it's egg salad.
The eggplant parmesan. Yes, he's like the perfect vegetarian dish. She says, now this is the perfect vegetarian dish.
Yeah, no,
I don't know if vegetarian. I think so, but the sandwich looks like chunky, like turkey.
I think it's egg salad.
Is it?
I think it's egg salad.
Is it egg salad?
I think
that would be a bomb sandwich, though. Okay, but that's still a very typical sandwich.
I was like 30, or not 30. I was like 28 before I had, like, an egg salad sandwich for the first time.
Really?
It slaps.
Did it hit like, did it wash over you like a beautiful wave?
Mm-hmm.
Because like
Mm-hmm.
an egg salad
On like
sandwich is
not
like
great white
texturally,
bread,
oh,
which I
is it
think
the
is
kind
kind
that,
of the key. Like
yeah,
you
I
don't want
want
egg salad
something,
on like a bougie bread.
I want something that like kind of forms a little bit of a like a pocket for it. Like if I'm holding it, it kind of mushes
Mm-hmm.
together a little bit and it
Yeah, yeah.
gets,
You want
yeah,
like a soft white bread. You
yes.
like. I would like a step above Wonder Bread, but frankly, I consider like store brand a step above Wonder Bread.
Mm, controversial.
You
Wonder
know,
bread,
I don't
fuck
want
you.
your like artisanal bullshit. I say as someone who loves to bake bread.
Baked bread is like divine. However, I think that that's just such a specific talent. And I don't know if
I love it. I
the
love
amount of
baking
times
bread.
that I've had baked bread up, like it's orgasmic. I need to
Does our
learn how to
hotel have a
do,
kitchen?
I believe so. Yeah. It
If our room
yeah,
has a kitchen, I'll make some bread.
that is a thing you should stand by because that would be awesome. Because I had fresh bread in Germany every day and I was spoiled. But that's because Germans really take their bread seriously. Um, No, if that's an egg salad sandwich, that looks like a bomb ass egg salad sandwich. And Sean
Mm-hmm.
fucked it up. Okay?
Yeah, he did.
Sean
Yeah, he
was
did. He was
tearing it
like,
up.
"There's no tempeh in
There's no
this."
tempeh, alfalfa, or peanut sauce in this shit. He was tearing that shit.
Just eggs in egg
Just
sauce.
like he was fucking it up. A little veg in
Can we
there.
talk about? Can we talk about how like deviled eggs and egg salad and eggs Benedict
I
are
love
all
eggs
just
Benedict.
eggs in egg sauce?
Yes.
Girl, I make the best hollandaise.
Do you?
Damn. Oh,
Caroline,
yeah.
you need to fucking cook for me because I've had such a hard time making like a lick your fingers hollandaise and I need that. Oh my gosh.
No, we can make that work.
Cool.
We're gonna be if we have a kitchen. Yeah.
If you make me eggs Benedict, I might have to tell my girlfriend that you're invited into our relationship. Whenever you want to cook me eggs Benedict, you're invited. Okay?
You're like,
because
look,
that is
Caroline
the way to my
is my
heart.
girlfriend at breakfast.
At breakfast, because she knows, but first of all, she knows that's the way to my heart. Like some people, you make them a good steak. You know, you make steak and potatoes dinner. For me, it's like, make me a good ass breakfast. Like, make me a breakfast I can't make myself because I can do an omelet. I can make myself some good home fries and potatoes and stuff like that. But like, make me a good ass like eggs Benedict, and I will be.
Yeah, I'll make you eggs Benny, baby.
Oh my god. That's
I
like my
love an eggs
favorite
Benny.
breakfast. That's my favorite
Well, and
breakfast.
I love like hollandaise is something I'm really, really good at, and like it's something that people are so impressed by.
It's
really not that hard. It's literally hot mayonnaise.
I know.
Like it is literally hot
I
mayonnaise.
know. And it's right. Like I've tried. Like I have tried to make my own hollandaise. I've tried to put like massive amounts of butter in there and I've made something. It's fine. It's just not.
No, the tricky
hit.
thing is that there is such a thing as like too much butter. And the problem is once you hit the threshold, like,
yeah,
is a skill. I'll show you some stuff.
I was gonna say, like, because like one thing is I can't poach them right. I know that there's multiple methods. I've tried them. They don't poach nicely for me. So poach those eggs. Get me like oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh wow.
Ooh, maybe I'll make mini blueberry goat cheese pies for the drive.
I'm gonna gain like weight on this trip if you do that because goat cheese is like my one vice. Goat cheese is so good.
It is so good. And my pies are so fucking good.
I've seen pictures of your pies.
Like, candied orange peel on top.
Ooh. See, this is what happens when like food is like one of your love languages. I think that this episode, I don't think it was my first episode, but I always like to like, it's canon for me that this was the first episode I watched because it's so significant to me culturally.
And it's funny because it's really like it's a weak episode.
I was gonna say that.
I don't have a lot of notes. I don't have a lot of fashion.
Me either. Boo, me either. Shots Fired was even light. Like I have
Shots Fired was light.
like 15 bullet points. If that, I'm not counting these bullet points.
Right.
Like
I did, okay, one of my notes, and I think it's important, is, and I'm going to read it exactly how I wrote it. I know it's not grammatically correct, but that was on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much eyebrows in this room.
Yeah.
Because for real, you've got Jimmy, you've got Sean, you've got Toby,
Mm-hmm.
who we have not mentioned in the Great
and the
Eyebrow
Wars, yeah,
of
he's
2001.
He's serving
but he's got
stark eyebrows.
Some eyebrows.
Shit.
Toby's got strong eyebrow game, honestly.
Like, I love that they, first of all, I mean, obviously, if you know the makeup of the original Breakfast Club, you've got the jock, you've got the princess, you've got the basket case, 80s terminology, not mine. You've got the geek and the brain. And so Toby falls under the brain. It couldn't have been JT because JT is friends with this group for the most part. So it has to be Toby. And of course we've got it like of course we've got to have Toby just being maximum geek here. But no, it's definitely a, like, these people are definitely being pigeonholed into these archetypes for this episode.
I will, okay, looking at my notes now, because, like, I haven't even been looking at my notes.
Yeah.
One thing that I did love was, so Hazel, we find out, gets detention because she was caught looking at
surfing porn. My note, wait, can I say my note is that, like, this is the time before a firewall in a school when you could actually surf porn and not
but she wasn't even surfing it.
She was in her email.
And she was curious.
But my school started in my senior year. They started blocking personal emails. In my senior year, they were like, "Fuck your emails. We don't want anything to do with them." Those people when people would send you random porn.
But I love, like, it's a very throwaway conversation, and, like, she's like yeah, she's embarrassed to tell them, but then once she's told them, she's like, I got a link in my email. I was curious.
But wait, can we talk about Sean's face in that moment? He's like, wait, what you do? Like, what did he even say? What about Paige? Paige, like, ring your bell or something like that. Like Paige can't make me do anything. Okay, well, what happened? I searched some porn on my because it was in my email. I was curious. He's like, oh, okay, like,
right.
Like, but I'm sorry, I was fucking with you.
I do love that they, like, kind of very nonchalantly, like, normalize the fact that kids at that age are going to be curious, and not like, hey kids, go look at porn, but like that it's not weird that you're curious about this, exactly, without making a big deal out of it, you know. Like, I really sometimes Degrassi handles things well.
They do. I think they definitely they're trying to be like, looking at porn when you're curious is normal.
She's just lucky that Mr. Radich caught her and she got Saturday detention, because if Kate and Jeff had caught her,
they would have made her watch it with them and talk about it in detail. I can't stand these people.
It's so weird. It's such a weird choice. I'm gonna die mad about it. We're gonna be in, like, season 18 still talking about this.
No, actually, like, there's a problem. But can we talk about how the fact that I got some spam in my email, I was curious, is an ADR? I always have to point out when they put it in DM because they're not looking at Andrea so she never said it on camera. So that's an ADR when they added that in there, because they felt like it wasn't clear enough when she's like, I got some spam in my email. But they laugh at that. They laugh at her just saying, I got some spam in my email.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then they tack on I was curious. And they all like it's definitely an ADR. But I mean a good ADR because the curious part does enhance it a little bit. But like the fact that like Sean is hounding her this like the first half of this episode is like, I wonder why your girlfriend's in here. What like, oh wait, what page pull your puppet strings is what he says. What page pull your puppet strings, make you dance. Make you dance. It's like Sean is supposed
Please
to
don't
be
ever do whatever that was again in my presence.
Wait a minute.
Stop
okay,
it.
so there's
I need
this
an adult.
I need an adult. I'm not. I'm scared. I need. But
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, wait. Never mind. Sorry, I was gonna jump back to Superstore when they're talking about the tornado.
Oh my gosh.
And Cheyenne's like, tell an adult you trust. No, Cheyenne, that's only if the tornado's more.
Tell an adult you trust. No, I am only reacting to this comment that I made in the Degrassi Facebook group where one of our modmins posted just curious ... rat emoji. And obviously the rat emoji is a sign for the Twilight shit posting group on Facebook. So I commented that I'm a ratty, and then I also posted this like gif that's of Edward walking down the hallway, and somebody put it like a wave gif filter on it, and so he's like loosey goosey arms, and I keep getting notifications that people like the comments. So I'm so sorry, but that's
We're
my
gonna
brain.
have to cut so fucking much.
But that's my brain. What we might keep it in depending on the content length.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
We're gonna see. I think we're interesting. We had a 40-minute pre-show, so we kind of got.
This is the episode where our viewership just tanks,
plummets. Our stock plummeted.
No, but it's hard. This like. I love this episode. I think this is an iconic episode. I think it is such a weak episode.
It's okay. It is the season 3 equivalent of the Relax episode. Like they knew that they had to set some things up, but they also knew that this is an in-between episode. We just had Accidents Will Happen, parts 1 and 2. Heavy hitters. Boom, boom.
It's definitely just more palatable than Relax.
Take a break. It's 100% more palatable, but they knew that they had to get some sort of like gimmick in there. And I don't know who doesn't love The Breakfast Club as just not even if you don't even love the movie as a situational sort of like to put your characters in. I think it's a really good like you have Ellie and Sean who probably wouldn't have interacted if they were not in detention together. Like, and not even that they're supremely different, just because they don't travel in the same social circles. And when would they're not in the same grade, when would they have interacted?
Right.
You know?
I had totally forgotten why Ellie was there.
Me too. Wait.
In case anybody else has, it was because of being late for class.
Yeah, I have that in my shots fired, but like Jimmy's response. But I'm like her. I have a conjecture to point out. Did Ellie just get detention so that she could, because she knew that Sean got detention, so that she could potentially find out?
That was my thought too. Was because in the Breakfast Club, Ali Sheedy's character didn't get detention.
Yeah, she just
had nothing else.
She had nothing else better to do. Wait, like I had nothing else better to do.
I had forgotten why Ellie got detention.
Yeah,
and so I was just
it's a similar reason. Like I didn't feel like I skipped class. What? I didn't feel like going. Like that's not a real reason. Like she totally got detention on purpose, if not just showed up.
Right.
And Raditch was just because, like, honestly, they don't mention her
because Caitlin Ryan uncensored or whatever it is,
Right.
unscripted.
It's
Caitlin
so
Ryan
rogue.
unscripted really cares about the theft at Degrassi.
They really do. And she's been given little to no instructions on how to complete her assignments. So she's just going fucking rogue. But like, I don't think that Raditch would even, he doesn't have a roster. He just knows that he's told certain people. He knows that he told Toby and Jimmy and Sean to be there. And Hazel, probably. But then, like, Ellie can just show the fuck up. Maybe that's why they only show her. Because she just shows up. She's just like, I'm going to detention to get the scoop on the thefts at Degrassi. Because she's only ever...
Agent Ellie is on the case.
And, like, girl, like, you are not... Like, just sit down. I have no... Like, now that... I feel like it's... I feel like it's kind of canon now that she is looking for the story aggressively enough to sentence herself to a 9 to 2 p.m. detention. A 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. detention
it's
on a Saturday.
Probably better, like, what are her other options? Hang out with her drunk-ass mom.
Sucks.
Hang out with Ashley.
Even, I'm not just say even worse. That's rude.
Hang out with Marco, who right now, all he can talk about is Dylan.
It's Dylan, yeah. Yeah. Her options are kind of like she had a way better time at fucking detention than she would have ever had, and left to her own devices. But like she spearheads detention, so they get busted by Raditch because they're playing like fucking tray hockey, and Hazel decides to dump an entire like wicker basket full of plastic utensils on the pair, and I'm like, that is really hard to clean up, and you're just gonna clean them up and let people eat off of dirty floor utensils? Ill. I'm calling flag on the play. That's a hygiene issue, Hazel. I'm not okay with it.
Whatever, but the Degrassi calf is full of earwigs. A little bit of floor dirt is like the least of your concern.
That's fair. But Raditch busts in. He's like, okay, all of you got to be separated now. Like, you can't be in the same room. They were in the cafeteria. He's like, fuck you guys. You're going to different rooms. But because Ellie needs to finish out her story, she breaks everybody else out. That's my theory. Ellie's, and she has to be driving this episode because she's the first one we see. I think that tracks. That's not a theory I had before watching it this time, honestly.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting, and I think that you're onto something. Another thing that I thought was interesting was, like, they kind of, like, it's not like they had, like, Hazel and Ellie, like, sniping at each other or anything like that. But, like, they kind of try and give the impression that, like, they're not friends. And, like, okay, they're not friends, but they're not friends.
They're not friends.
Because, like, you've got two circles of the grade 8 girls right now. And it's Terry and Hazel and Paige. And it's Ashley and Ellie. Yeah. But they
interact sometimes. They join forces, just like in the Accidents Will Happen episode. We just saw it, the part 2, where Paige oversees some bullshit and is looking at Ellie like comrade in arms. Like, they sometimes play the same team when they want to play the same team. And it definitely is a little bit weird that they're supposed to be so on opposite sides, because we just know that that's not true. They will work together when it's beneficial for both of them to work together. They don't hate each other. Right. There's like not the vitriol, and there's not really the separation to warrant like, okay, she's the princess, because like, but like they are trying to play up this like Breakfast Club narrative. Sean is leaning very hard into the John Bender role, and and I mean, he tries, but you know, I can't say that I 100% believe.
Yeah,
like he's not hitting as hard as I don't know.
Well, no,
maybe that like I feel like Judd Nelson just has this whole vibe.
Judd Nelson has this whole vibe
that,
and
Daniel Clark.
Like it's Bender as a whole, but in particular that scene.
I always found
what
so
about
much.
You, Dad?
Yeah. No, Dad. What about you? No, Dad. Yeah, that whole scene. First of all, what? Oh, it was American Horror Story where the where the daughter of I want to say Carrie Fisher, yes, the daughter of Carrie Fisher was like Billy Lord was like because she's a ghost from the 80s and the 2020s, and she's like, did Judd Nelson win an Oscar? And the person's like, I don't think so. Like,
I saw a really bad movie with Judd Nelson recently.
Oh, Judd Nelson.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a remake of The Most Dangerous Game, called The Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be bad watching it, but CT from The Challenge was like the lead in it, and I wasn't going to pass that up.
You're like, I've got to stick this through.
I paid to rent it on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
I did. And was it good? No, it was like $3. Shut up.
That's fine.
It was
as long as you
it.
didn't spend like $9.99 on
like,
it.
I would have felt ripped off if I had spent $5 on it. I did not feel ripped off for $3.
That's fine. I support you.
And like, it was fine.
That's
ish.
Guys, literally this episode is such my favorite, but it's scant.
It's very iconic. It lays some groundwork. It's cute. It's
Hazel
scant.
and Jimmy. Okay, can we talk about?
It's what they call a bottle episode.
Yes. And I think that with like our segments, we typically have episodes that happen over several days, so we get more fashion, more development. We at least get an A
plot and a B plot.
We at least get an A plot. This is the first time since we've started this show where we have an encapsulated episode, and we have things simultaneously occurring, and there's no A plot or B plot.
I mean, we get Monday morning, but
there's really no notable difference between their outfit. They don't make any effort to differentiate us between the detention and Monday morning. They look very similar.
Ellie's outfit is starkly different because she's wearing that shirt. No, that shirt was white, I think.
I was gonna say, is Ellie wearing a different shirt?
She is, shirt.
But is it like?
But it's like
starkly different shirt. Okay,
yeah.
It was not in my fashion, but to me, it just feels like, okay, this is one of the episodes where you are not going to have instances of development because these people it's all happening within the same day.
Right, you can only grow so much in a day.
And even at the end when Ellie is like, I have an instant camera in here for posterity and everything, it's like they are lamenting that this is definitely not something that might continue. Like, this is a message in a like sort of like a capture it in a bottle sort of thing, and it floats away. Okay, so I do see Ellie's ending outfit. We will get to that in fashion. It is a little different, but I think that I hesitated to say that this kiss. So one of my favorite things about this episode is that Hazel and Jimmy get together. I think that they were kind of teed up to get together. I'm excited. And I really do think that the way they get together is probably one of the best in this era of like starting the relationship. I think that the blocking was really good of how Jimmy reaches around and he's behind her to kind of give her like sort of a like soft Spider-Man kiss, like that sort of energy, like you're upside down, but like you're from behind. I think it's a really cute kiss that stands out to me.
No, but it is. It's very smooth. It's very cute. I like Jimmy and Hazel.
I do.
Like, I'm into it.
I like their relationship. I think they're sweet. I think they've kind of been set up. So I like them.
No, they've been I think they find the groundwork for a while, like.
Right. I think the fact that they're finally together is like, okay. Especially like multiple points through the episode, they are interacting in a way that's like they're flirty. It tracks for me that they are getting together at the end of the episode and that Jimmy is feeling this way. And I also think that as we talked about earlier in this our show, that Paige and Jimmy make a lot of sense because they are, the jock to the cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, Hazel and Jimmy make sense because they are the jock to the cheerleader. Hey, Jimmy has always wanted that. You can tell with Ashley.
Right.
He has always wanted a comparable, someone who understands popularity. And Ashley used to be someone who understood popularity, but now she's not. And it seems to be Jimmy's priority to get somebody who understands being popular. And I mean, it goes within the narratives of this episode that,
and it's weird that we don't get to see more of them as like a power couple.
I would
because
love
they are
that,
way
though,
more of a power couple than Spinner and
Paige.
Because while Paige is iconic, and while I love Spin,
I love Spin too, but they're not on the same level.
It's not.
But like Spin started out as the water boy.
Right.
And
the
he
team
progressed.
Manager and like yeah.
Yes, and he moved up in the ranks, and that's a story in itself. However, we do have we've always had the discourse on the show that like they just did not make sense. What makes sense is the dude who has always been the dude who has always been popular like Jimmy having the girl who has always been popular like Paige.
Right.
Like Hazel has never had to work up. She has been a second fiddle to Paige, but she has always been Paige's right-hand friend and just as socially lucrative to attain as Paige.
No, and it's definitely interesting. Thanks for casual racism.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
we couldn't escape the episode without that,
right. It was the times, and we just didn't have like not white people in the writers' rooms, and like but like not that there aren't like plenty of complexities. Like I don't want to just be like, but like to a degree, like yes, there are certainly stories that can be told about like blackness and that should be told, but like just write your black characters like you're writing your white characters. What is
just
this?
write
like,
them like they're characters.
Like, they're just teenagers. Like
literally, I think that's the hardest as a writer, right? Who grew up reading all of the classics with white people. The amount of times that white people's skin is described in fiction that they are the protagonist of is scant. Typically, you just assume that the protagonist is white because white is the default. So anytime I would write fiction and I would have a non-white protagonist, I would have to kind of emphasize that they're black.
Right.
And that sucks. It should be this is a character just like your white character. They may happen to be black, but I don't need to emphasize that. I don't need to say, oh, they're mahogany skin, or oh, they're they're chestnut skin. Like
I was gonna say you do an edible one.
You do an edible one. It's
rich chocolate caramel skin.
It's so hard to write about black people because the default is white. And obviously Hazel and Jimmy fall into that because we are not given, obviously Hazel more than Jimmy. Jimmy is given a lot more fleshing out as a character, but he is still the black kid who got shot. Sorry guys if
the black basketball star.
The black basketball star. Sorry if you are not aware of what happens a couple of next season. That's what happens. It's like and that's why when Liberty goes to college and she describes what happens to her with her white boyfriend, people assume that she had gang affiliation, that she was involved in some gang shit because she's black. It's a thing, and it definitely sucks that Hazel and Jimmy are regulated to being the black characters, because I really do think that they have more to offer and they are
Right.
really a sweet couple. And I think they make way more sense than a lot of the other couples on this show, especially in that last scene where they're like, Jimmy's got his arm on Hazel's shoulder
Yeah,
and they're
no,
like laughing
they go
together,
together
and
well. They've got really good chemistry.
their chemistry is awesome. Like, even when they're like going to break Sean out and Jimmy says his little shit about like, yeah, like you don't do group activities, whatever. Like, they're laughing together. Like, nobody else is really laughing like that. It's just like
Yeah,
they're in
no,
on the
I
secret.
like Hazel and
I
Jimmy.
like Hazel and Jimmy, and I really wish that we got more of them, like their little plots. Like, I want to see what fucking Jimmy gets Hazel for their anniversary. That would be a great plot. Like, what does Jimmy get Hazel? Like, does he
Not
have
a
to
gross clay heart.
and not a gross clay heart or a fucking locker? He gets her some like actual monetary.
Probably
I don't.
thoughtful. My headcanon is that they have a really solid, deep relationship, and we just
Me too.
unfortunately don't get to see it.
We don't get it.
We wouldn't have like learned the lessons we needed to learn from that, apparently. Instead,
We
let's
didn't need.
romanticize Craig and Manny.
We didn't need wholesome content.
No,
we
that's
just
not what
needed.
we came for Degrassi for.
It
Are you
goes
fucking
there.
kidding me?
I would have loved
to Degrassi, bitch.
Welcome to Degrassi, bitch. No, I would have loved a wholesome time between fucking Jimmy and Hazel. Would have been nice. Give me a mini with Jimmy and Hazel, like planning out their futures, or even like raising their
Right?
kids. Like, give me something. I don't know. But we were robbed.
Man, that could have been the reboot.
I would have loved that though. Like, I would watch the shit out of that.
They found their way back together, and
and Jimmy can walk canonically again, so there's that.
can he
like
walk
reunion.
canonically?
Yes, somehow stem cell. I don't know something, but it was brought up in a mini. Yes, he can now walk canonically.
Minis aren't canonical though.
Are minis not canonical?
Minis
Yeah,
aren't
no,
canonical.
I did know that. Okay, so according to a mini, he walks, but that's okay. That's not canonical.
I should hope that they don't go that route.
They do. At a reunion, they have him come in and be like, "Hey, blah blah blah.
No,
this
that's the
treatment
I'm
worked."
video.
No.
Okay, but that's a mini.
That's a
it's
mini.
Non-canonical.
It's
so I'm saying
right.
if they had done a reboot.
If they had done a reboot and they actually took the time to flesh out the plot, I'm here for it. However, at this time, Drake doing any sort of reboot,
right? It would never.
I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and he's busy, and he's upset.
He's upset. He's got other fucking shit to do. But I mean, what else in this episode? I mean, obviously Sean and fucking
Snake
Ellie get together. Snake
finished his round of chemo. He's
coming back.
He doesn't want to die for like the first Saturday.
This is
in a long
right.
time.
This is so he helps the kids get out of detention scot-free in a sense. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's probably one. Snake and Hazel and Jimmy. I mean, you could argue that Sean and Ellie also round out this episode, but like, I just really think that
it's a very weak episode. It's a fun episode. I love this episode.
I love it. Episode, and the part where they have to convince Sean to come out of his room, and then he skips forward because they have to do the hallway shots of them dancing and running, and they have to do the Breakfast Club thing. So he skips forward with his hands in his pocket. He looks like he's about to like accidentally trip himself and fall backward. The way that he like spiritly kicks forward.
It's fine. No, I love him.
It's fine. And yeah, I mean, it's this episode, as much as I love The Breakfast Club, it makes me want to watch The Breakfast Club. Because The Breakfast Club too. It makes me want to just be like,
watch The Breakfast Club.
I want to watch The Breakfast Club, and then immediately after, I would like to watch Uncle Buck, and I would like no questions about that. Double feature. Thank you. Because I cry at the end of, I cry multiple times during The Breakfast Club, mostly towards the end, obviously. Like, I can't with, like, I pulled the string, the lamp wouldn't come on. It should come on. Like, Like the amount of times I cried during the Breakfast Club, and then you turn on Uncle Buck, and then I've got to laugh a little bit at John
reminding me
Candy.
how much I love Emilio Estevez too.
I love Emilio. First of all, Emilio
That
Estevez is
scene when he's
great.
talking about taping that kid's ass cheeks together is like a
Mhm.
really good power. I love Emilio Estevez. Like,
I think I had this thing. I was obsessed with Molly Ringwald. Like, I was obsessed with Molly Ringwald to the point where I watched For Keeps
okay,
so many times. And I think it's because I secretly wanted to be in a lesbian relationship with Molly Ringwald, and like she had my baby.
okay.
And I realized this as a fully grown adult, but as like a teenager, when my mom introduced me to the movie For Keeps, I was just like, this is all you've got to do. Exit yourself, stage left. You've educated me far enough on the Molly Ringwald. She was like, this is like towards the end of Molly Ringwald being like really like popular, blah, blah, blah. She does a movie after this, but like this is a good movie, like towards the end of her like being a teenage starlet or whatever. And I was just like, okay, love that movie. But I also love She's Having a Baby and it was at 9 months, whatever.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, like I love movies like that with pregnancy. So I was just like, oh, I love that. But I had a very solid Molly Ringwald moment. So when she was not like, but I can still watch St. Elmo's Fire. It's still it's a strong film for me. Brat Pack.
We're grasping at straws. I feel like we've exhausted this episode.
I think we have to. I think that this, as much as we were excited about this episode, very little happens. And the things that did happen, we talked about. So
no, I know. I was talking to Forrest about it before we were recording after I had fallen. And I was like, I don't know what to do because I really want to take a muscle relaxer, but I'm already sleepy. I won't make it till 8. And he was like, well, maybe the conversation will be stimulating and then you can take a muscle relaxer after. And I was like, this is such a weak episode, babe.
It's not a stimulating episode, love. If only you knew. Yeah, no, I think we've taken the boat as far down the river as we can take it, and yeah,
I would agree. So before we hop into segments, we want to take a minute and just kind of talk about what all we've got going on. I know we've got like a little blurb from Charlie at the end that tells you where all you can follow us and support us and stuff, but we don't really talk about it a lot. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that like we are so blown away by the fact that so many people listen to us for free.
Right?
Like, we made 13 Spotify Wrapped top podcasts last year.
That's 12 more.
Well, and only one of those accounts was mine. So we
right,
made
like
12
that's 12
Spotify
people.
Wrapped.
Yeah. It's 12 more.
And that's huge. That's huge. None of them were our moms.
Groundbreaking.
But we do have a Patreon. And the Patreon,
got a lot of good stuff on there.
If you're following us on the socials, you've seen like we do a pre-show, which is just us shooting the shit. Sometimes it's a little housekeeping. Sometimes it's, it's whatever.
Get to know us better. We talk more about our personal shit than we would talk about on our main feed. So it's a chance to get us to know us better. We
do an early and unedited release of the episodes.
And I will say the past episode, the last episode that we released was the pepperoni episode. Was so much content was cut from that.
Last Friday of the month, we do Film Club, where we watch a movie with a Degrassi alum. So far, we've done Christmas at Maple Creek, starring Jake Epstein. It was bad. We did She's Too Young, wherein
starring Miriam McDonald.
Miriam McDonald gets a social disease in her throat.
Yeah. Also it's bad, but in a different way.
We watched Selling Innocence, which has Mike LaBelle with the worst dreads.
Horrible wig.
It's so bad.
So horrible.
Coming up next month, we're going to be watching, or I guess it's this month at this point that you're listening
March.
to it.
Yeah, it's March.
But we're going to be watching a movie called Zombie Shark,
which I'm really excited with. Cassie Steele.
I'm so hyped. And we also have we're working on. We haven't released it yet, but it's gonna be coming.
Very
a
soon.
weekly like mini-sode called Degrassi Diaries. Where it's essentially like fanfic diary entries from the point of view of like peripheral characters.
Indeed.
Really excited about that. We wanted to have that sooner, but we really want to do it well. And we also, you know, any cast and crew interviews that we do, they're going to be here on the Patreon
to
before
Patreon.
They're on the main feed. You get shout outs, double entry in any like giveaways or like trivia opportunities. If you're in our top tier, provided you can meet the audio requirements, which really aren't that much, we invite you on the show for an episode. That's how Alyka was on the You Got the Look episode. You also get discounts in our merch shop depending on the tier, which is a good transition to talk about our merch shop. So our Patreon is patreon.com/yourmomspodcast.
Your Mom's Podcast. Yep.
Our merch shop is your-moms-podcast-shop.fourthwall.com. And we've got a lot of great stuff. We're getting new stuff, you know, kind of as it comes to us. We're on Facebook, and we also have a Facebook group that we're trying to grow. And by and large, giveaway opportunities are going to be exclusive to group members. They're posted there first, and they're exclusive to group members. And so speaking of giveaways, which usually are exclusive to group members, we actually have a really fun one going on right now. So y'all have probably seen this summer in Tennessee, there is a fan fest, the Smoky Mountain Fan Fest.
Yes.
And Shane Kipple,
Melissa McIntyre,
and
Pat.
I'm so bad at Italian names.
I'm Pat
Mastroianni.
Gosh, Pat M. We love you.
Mastroianni. Joy Jeremiah.
Mastrion. Yes, Mastrion.
So
I think you probably did a really good job with that.
We're so bad at pronouncing things. It cracks
me
up.
Really are. We actually
really are.
Okay, but yes.
but so
and also kind of like Silent Bob.
Yeah, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes are both going to be there.
Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith are going to be there as well.
So are your favorite pastas, Avis and Caroline. We've gotten a table. We're really hyped to hopefully connect with fans, get some new fans, have like a team building, road trippy goodness.
If you guys don't know, we haven't met each other in person yet. We are internet friends, so this is going to be like prepare for
this
all
is
of
going to
the
make or break the
meeting
podcast,
each other
really.
Content. Like literally, if the vibes aren't the same, you guys might just like see like the podcast just doesn't.
You know, I don't want to brag or anything, but we're going to hang out with Shane Kipple.
We're gonna kind of like hang out with our like fucking childhood, like.
But so we're going to this con. If you're going, we really hope you'll stop by our booth, check us out, come say hey,
or like email us. That would be really cool. Like reach out. Like you could also message us on Facebook. You can message us on TikTok.
Actually, please don't message us on Facebook because I can't check them from my phone. It's a total pain in the ass. Please message us. Please message us on TikTok or send us a good old fashioned email. Just podcast@gmail.com. But so we are going to this
reach
con.
out. We'd love
to see y'all there.
We would love to engage with you guys. Please reach out. Please.
Are trying to raise money for the con. Shit's expensive.
In this economy,
in this economy. And so we are actually doing a giveaway right now, where if you make a donation of $10 or more, just to our PayPal, which is paypal.me/podcast. If you do that before May 1st, and you send us an email with your PayPal name and your mailing address, or wherever you'd like us to send it, we're going to send you a free Harrah's Tour poster.
Yes, indeed.
Which is a spinner
poster.
Beautiful. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful, guys. You've seen them online. Have them in your home.
And we're getting two of those bad boys. Two of those bad boys are en route right now to Toronto to be signed by friend of the pad, Shane Kipple, aka Spinner Mason. And two lucky donors are going to get signed posters.
With beautiful metallic. Metallic pens. Yes, no.
And you can
Y'all.
find more information about this. We've got a post on the Facebook and we've got a post on the Instagram about it. I think we've got a post on the TikTok about it too.
I think we have a post. Yeah, no, we're like literally. This is so exciting for us to have this opportunity. Like like I said, best friend of the pad on.
Yeah,
like,
no, he is. He is the best friend of the pad.
At this point, like.
And actually, I think that covers all of our bases, right? We've got the Patreon. We've got
we've got
content already. We've got more coming up that we're working on. We've got this convention.
We've got the convention. Honestly, y'all, like the convention is in August. Be on the lookout if you're not able to be physically there for just our live updates. I think we'll try to just share as much as we can. Yeah. But we're so excited to be going and meeting Shane in person and
connecting with fans and people who love Degrassi.
Like the amount of comments that we've got is like, for me, amazing to see people like responding so positively to our show and watching along with us, and just like to have an impact on people's watches of a 20-year-old show. Like I'm constantly in awe. So thank you so much, guys. And
that's the other thing too, is like feedback, like on streaming platforms. Ratings and reviews really go a long way. So do subscriptions and that kind of shit.
They bring us up higher, also, actually. Like, yeah, they algorithm.
Do. But also, like, comment on our posts. Engage in the Facebook group. Like, we want to hear, like, your thoughts. We want to know what you like. We want to know what you don't like. Like,
yes.
You know, every fucking week I'm like, these poems are stupid and everybody hates them and I'm not doing them anymore. Every week.
Caroline is very hard on herself and she's wrong, because I tell her every week they're beautiful and she turns it out and I don't know how. No, literally, like, I frequent Apple Podcasts. I would love if I see more than, like, I would love if there's reviews on there, because it really just makes us feel more accessible. But it makes us feel good. It makes us feel like, okay. Us feel bad. Or it makes us feel bad. Like, I think the time you take to write a review, whatever the review is, like, I don't want to advertise anybody talking shit about us, but that's really great if you take the time to talk shit about us, because at least you took the time.
Right.
Okay. Right. Love and hate are very closely, intermingled. But
they're like two brothers who go on a date.
Because the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference.
Why did you just let a musical theater reference just like float right by
you? Just flow right by me? Go ahead.
No, I said, did you ever get into Avenue Q? Did you have that cringy ass phase?
First
love
of all,
hate are like two brothers who go on a date. Who go on a what?
I completely let it flow by me. Yeah. No. I think that overall, this episode, as excited as we were about it, it's one of those episodes that's really fun to watch, but is not necessarily stimulating to talk about, because all of the containment is in the visuals. And it's not necessarily any substance.
Right.
Like, what do we really get? Toby's fucking he says the word, like, I'm thinking agoraphobia, but that's obviously not.
Is it acrophobia?
Yeah, acrophobia. Yes, fear of heights. So Toby has acrophobia, and that is why he's kind of like regulated to be by himself when the other four kids are coupling up and everything. Like, they discover an elevator. Raditch does a really fucking intense aerobic ball workout. Notes too,
was that this Swiss ball workout looks fucking intense.
Intense. The way he's sweating. When I tell you, I am in the gym. I go to the gym. I see what people do. No one really fucks around with those Swiss balls because they're hard fucking core. Mm-hmm. When you fuck around with a Swiss ball, it's maybe to do like a hip bridge, like. Okay, you're not doing what
he's like lying on his back, lifting it with his legs.
Like, Raditch was in it to win it with that fucking Swiss ball. And Hazel's coming along and judging. Hazel, that will be you when you are on the cusp of 30. Fucking around with that Swiss ball and it's kicking your ass, okay? Right. Because it's not like when workouts start, like when I'm relating more to Raditch, literally my fucking note is okay, but that exercise ball workout really kicks that ass.
Yeah.
Like, because that's all I was thinking. Is he's sweating, he's puffing, because it
But like,
actually
yeah,
is
no,
a real
it's
fucking
got a
workout.
lot of great moments. It just doesn't have a lot of substance, and it is
It
what
does
it
not
is.
have a lot of substance.
And
No.
I think, we've already moved past it into shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, let's
So
slide on into
slide
go
on
on
over
into
to
our
the segments.
segments. I think that first of all, this is probably my favorite music corner thus far. Because do you want to know, I was just at the bowling alley last Saturday with my mom and her boyfriend, the mayor, and I was because it was like a bowling fundraiser, so we bought a ticket for dinner and then bowling, and the DJ
like
was
a good
kicking
first
it all
family.
like a good first family. My mom said she gets called first lady and she gets creeped out because they're not married yet, but like low-key they're gonna be married soon. The way that like the DJ was pumped, like I doubt it was like a Pandora playlist or anything, because the it was a really good playlist. But Take On Me came on. I'm like, okay, getting my little bowling game. I love this song. Take On Me, it has no relevance to the plot, but this plot
episode,
is applesauce. So
because of this episode, I constantly like in my head will like think that Take On Me is the Breakfast Club song.
Yes,
but it's not.
But no, it's
That's
not.
Don't You Forget About Me, another great song.
Don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me. I do the little fist pump that Judge also does at the end. But there's also an episode of Victorious, which I also, unfortunately, because I knew there was a Breakfast Club episode of Victorious, I'm like, I gotta watch this. And at the end of that episode, she has a red balloon, and she pumps her fist up, and then her balloon flies away, and she's like, oh no, my balloon. And she's like jumping up, and that's the freeze frame instead of the fist. I'm like, I'm done with this fucking show. No, actually, like the music is not what it should, but it's similarly 80s.
Yeah.
Take On Me is such a good,
I don't think that the
such
song
a good
doesn't
song.
fit.
It does. It doesn't not fit, but it's lyrically.
Lyrically,
I guess it's sparse enough that it could fit, I guess.
Well, and like it's it is kind
Take On Me, but like take me on, I'll be gone for a moment or two.
In a day or two.
In a day or two.
But like, okay, it's a love song. It's asking like a partner to like give you a chance. But I think like the whole like, I know you have your take on me, but like actually take me on. Like, I don't know. I think it fits. I think it's one of the more fitting.
I mean, but okay, if we want to compare it to the A plot they want to happen that I don't want them to want to happen with Ellie and Sean, then yes, Take On Me, Take Me On. Those the lyrics specifically there 100% fit.
Well, but it's not just Sean and Ellie, it's the group.
It's not just Sean and Ellie.
It's the group as the whole. Like, save for Spinner and Jimmy have kind of preconceived notions of who everybody is.
Right. It's and I think it's one of those, it's funny because this is probably one of the only songs that I have such a heavy relationship with. Maybe aside from the Phil Collins song Against All Odds earlier in this season, but I will rock to the shit out of this song. And I think that I feel like I maybe walked into this episode feeling like, okay, the discussion is the back of my hand. I know all these lyrics. They're not necessarily complimentary to the plot, but like if I look at what the three verses, sorry. We're talking away, I don't know what I'm to say, I'll say it anyway. Today is another day to find you. Shying away, I'll be coming for your love, okay. So needless to say, I'm odds and ends, but I'm stumbling away, slowly learning that life is okay. Say after me, it's no better to be safe than sorry. Like it's definitely it applies.
Yeah.
A lot. I think because there's a vagueness to this song that maybe doesn't exist in other songs that we've covered. Like they're a little bit more pointed, and this is like that like boppin' 80s song where even though there's a ballad-esque characterization to it, it's more or less like a dancing sort of like you're not supposed to listen too much to the words.
I love how dramatic 80s music is, like as a whole. Like there are exceptions.
I love me some synth. I love like, me the build
Total
up and
Eclipse of the Heart.
Caroline.
Hungry Like the Wolf.
Caroline, we have to have first of all, it was a theme in my with Cord. We have to have Cord on this fucking show where Cord would just randomly start Total Eclipse of the Heart and everybody would have to, doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing, you have to sing, you have to have to join in, but it's like such a fucking beautiful, and oh wait, I Can't Make You Love Me if you don't which is completely bad to sing in like a group setting, but it's also great. I can't make 80s. You love me. Yeah, the drama, y'all.
Fucking Degrassi, I love it, and 80s music and everything. Fuck, and everything. I'm so like
I have such an like this is such I have such an appreciation for 80s media, but this episode content wise is not it, y'all, and we want to keep talking about all the 80s media that inspired this fucking episode, but it's just not there. The substance is not there, and we can pontificate, but it's just really not there. So
this is the second time tonight you've used that word. One of them was off mic, but is that did you get a word of the day calendar or something?
No, but I think I hit it. I think if there was a word of the day calendar, pontificate's on there. Because I feel like what's the word, filibuster, when you're talking about what people do in fucking Senate when they they can just talk out their ass, filibuster. And I want like so much want to use that in a fucking conversation. It does not flow as well as pontificate. It doesn't. But yeah, I think that's good. Like, I feel like our music corner is exhausted.
Let's slide on over before we end on the fashion corner. Let's slide on over to the bad part of town where the shots are fired. Or actually, you know what? Fashion corner's week this week. So
I was gonna say because it's a solid like we've got 1 day outfits. Yeah, I only have 3.
I have 2, and they're both radish.
Okay, one of mine is radish. So go ahead.
I love his like nod to Principal Vernon and the Breakfast Club, like with the slightly bigger lapels. Love it. And then also the Swiss ball episode or outfit is just hilarious. Like, I don't know. It's not a fashion do for sure, but I think it's funny.
I have Ellie's opening outfit. I actually think it's not.
It's one of her cuter outfits. It's very generic.
Yes, it's one of her cuter outfits to me. I don't think that it's like. I actually think that bringing up her second outfit, the red, I think that that's probably way more what I like in terms of her dressing. But she in this outfit in detention, she takes off her little leather coat that she has in the beginning, and her tank top has pink trim, and I think it's a cute it's a cute outfit. She's got a lot of studs on for me, but that's her thing.
She does have a lot of like, why are we wearing bondage gear to school, Ellie?
Right. We had 11K. Yeah, no, I have a problem with that. But I also really just like the tank top and the trim. But the kilt skirt I could probably do without. Probably.
It's fine.
But it's fine. And then I have a
problem with is the fucking pants under it.
I have a problem with the pants under it that I don't realize are pants until she does that. Until they do that little the conga line thing where they're like, all
those are not tights.
Those are not tights. Those are no. Definitely concerned about that. Yeah. I don't know.
What other fashion do you have?
So I just had Hazel's her outfit. During detention, I really like her button up. I think that it's similar to outfits Paige has worn, like the gauzy sort of button
It's
up
very
with
of the time. It's
the bell
trendy.
arms. It's very trendy, but I think that it looks like something Hazel would wear, and she wears it very well during the episode. The little shoes that she kicks, like the I think they're like platform shoes, and she kicks them off when they're playing hockey. I don't like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a short person. I never really cared for like trying to pump yourself up, because I'm always like, I didn't like that trend because I always accidentally twisted my ankle or did like, it made me feel like this is what I have to do to be like beautiful. You guys are gonna maybe twist my ankle every other week, but because I can tell Andrea Lewis is just small. Like similar to Lauren Collins. I don't think Lauren Collins is that tall either, but yeah, you can tell she's a shorty by the way they have her in little platform, like chunky wedges. But the entire outfit is very cute on her. And I noticed it throughout the episode.
Plot twist: nobody in the Degrassi cast is shorter than 5'9", but Miriam McDonald is 8'2", and so they just all look itty bitty. All right, so shall we go to where the shots are fired?
Yes, please.
Pew, 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 pew.
Shots fired.
I
have 3.
I also have 3. I would be not that surprised if we had the same 3.
Are all your 3 having to do with Sean and Jimmy?
Oh no, mine are actually Hazel. Shots fired at Hazel. 2 shots fired at Hazel and 1 shot fired at Ellie.
All right. Oh, wow, great. Go ahead.
Okay, so my first is when Hazel's complaining about being in detention, and Sean is like, "What? Does Paige need you to lick her boots before she goes out?"
Okay, that is one of mine.
Okay, hit me with one of yours.
Okay, mine. I really want to do my second one. All right, I'll do my second
hit me
one.
With your second one.
Sean says, "I'm not a joiner. I don't do group activities." And Jimmy says, "Okay, tell that to Jay next time you two decide to steal something."
That was a good one.
Because like Hazel laughs too.
My next one, I'm now kicking myself because I didn't write down who said it, because I was like, I'll remember it. But I think it's Jimmy. Ellie says why she got detention.
Yes.
And he's like, wow, that's a great story, Ellie.
That's a great story, Ellie. It is Jimmy. That was good. I knew it. I knew that was my second one. And I was like, but that, I thought about it, and the one I said I liked way more.
What's your third?
That's it. Okay. I said
my last one is when Hazel's like, "You want to know why I got detention?" And I believe it's Toby says, "Your shoes didn't match your purse."
Yes. First of all, these really stuck towards Hazel. They really suck.
They really do. God, I hurt so bad. Listeners, I fell on ice today. Don't get old if you're gonna fall on things ever in your life.
That'd be not fun.
It's so bad. It's so bad. The like hurt ass urge to have done this all like lying on my belly.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, that's just gonna hurt my back.
Yeah.
So I have 2 shining stars for this episode.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they are Toby and Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because, one, we will give Toby a nod for the fact that, or not Toby, Jimmy, a nod for the fact that he was real smooth with Hazel up on that roof.
Yes.
But it was actually the fact that he risked it all to get Sean back into his
back
detention
into
room.
No, actually,
And
me
that it
too.
was Sean
Yes.
in particular.
It was Sean in particular, yes, because he didn't even want to get Sean out of the, like, he's like, do we really need Sean? But he came through,
right,
and did not let Sean be the only one standing in the hallway, unable to get into his designated spot. Jimmy is absolutely a shining star for that. And I will say Toby is too, because he took the fall.
He did. Yeah,
if it was not him, right? If it was not him that took that fall, everybody would have been implicated. He was the only one that really could have done that without any blowback, I think.
Yeah. I
don't even think Ellie could have pulled that off because she has attitude.
Yeah.
And she was the other person that was like least offensive or whatever. Like, you know. But yeah, no.
And
I agree
really
with that.
Have super bummers this episode.
No one really bummed me out. Even though Raditch bummed me out initially, he leveled out when he realized, okay, I need to let these kids go. When he listened to Snake.
Right.
Snake is a shining star for me as well, because Snake talked about, you know, like, these kids don't deserve to be in detention. Like, these are good kids. Let them go. It is a Saturday. I don't feel like dying. They shouldn't feel like dying. You know, like, Snake is a shining star for me, even though he comes in for 2 seconds and exits. But no one really bummed me out. I feel like it was just a better episode for people to kind of stand out in stark contrast to, like, the mundane nature of this episode.
Right.
In terms of plot. Like, you know, you don't have people standing out against the plot as much as you maybe normally would have. So no one's really bumming me out. Yeah. I think the only person would have been Raditch, and he doesn't end up fully bumming me out.
And I think it's a really easy question this week, but does it go there?
Does it go there?
Does it go there?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No, it goes to detention.
It goes straight to detention. And then it comes back on Monday morning, and they're friends. No, yeah, this does not go there. But once again, this is a foundational episode, and we are going to get so much that goes there off of this episode.
Right. It's foundational, and it's also just like, it's a bottle episode. Sometimes you do that.
It's a bottle episode. We're having fun in a sense
all the time.
Yeah. Like, I enjoy a pop culture reference, you know, in another pop culture reference. So
right.
I am not mad at this episode. It's way more fun to watch than it is to talk about.
Yeah, there's just not enough substance to build a whole podcast episode on.
I will say the one part of this episode I'm sad we didn't get, because this is directly from its source material, is the montage, the dancing montage, where we have the different we have the 2 girls doing the little scootin' boot. We have the guys doing the little arms.
Well, but they'd have to get high in Raditch's office first.
They would have to get high in Raditch's office, and
the
closest they do is play hockey with lunch trays and trash. Yeah. So I guess that evens shit out, but I would have loved a scootin' bootin' dance scene enhanced by weed, but Degrassi doesn't like weed, and we don't digress because it doesn't get better. But yeah. I think that's about it. I feel like I really love this episode, but just, like, watch it, guys. Don't expect too much critical conjecture.
Don't write a dissertation on it or anything.
You will be struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to lead us on out, Avis?
Yeah. So, thanks for listening to Your Mom's Podcast. Next week, we'll be saying our final farewell to Tear Bear in Don't Dream It's Over. Oh, and we get some homophobia too, so that'll be fun.
This episode of Your Mom's Podcast was made possible in part by Switzerland, John Hughes, and support from listeners like you.
If you'd like to further support our show, you can find us on TikTok and Facebook as Your Mom's Podcast. We also have a Facebook group of the same name. And you can find us on Instagram at YMPadcast. Your Mom's Podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscriptions and reviews are another great free way to support us. However, if you're interested in supporting us in not free ways, we have a lot of great bonus content on our Patreon, and some great merch at our shop, which can be found at your-moms-padcast-shop.fourthwall.com. And remember, that's Padcast. Pahdcast. Thank you.
And now we would like to take a moment to thank our Patreon subscribers. Octavia Faith,
June Bard,
Margot Mancini, and a special thanks to our Titty Snake producer, Alyka Fenderson.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Ew, I hate how I said thank you. Thank you.